Which one did you want to sing first? Sounds good. Okay. So you'll just hear me come and help you if you need some help with the music, okay? Well, let's give this a try. Here we go. Kimmy, you did a great job with that. Nicely sung. All right, so your Italian was very good. There might have been like one or two little tiny thinking spots. I'm not worried about that one little bit there. I think overall your Italian is good and you have a nice sense of the pulse and the style of the song. So there's just a couple of things that I might work on. One would be at the very end of the piece. Do you see where it says broadly near the end? It's the second last line and it's kind of in block print. Yeah, so broadly usually means larger. So it means a little bit louder and a little bit slower. So my suggestion would be, you've finished off, say it's, I'm going to start that second last line where it says 61. So you're kind of singing nice and gently, Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia. Then you take a deep breath and then kind of give it a little more oomph. Su passeggeri. So I'd like you to try that out. Try it from 61. So start quite gently so you can, and then take a good deep breath. And I don't want you to yell, but I want you to give me a little more volume, okay? Go for it. Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia. Breathe in. Su passeggeri. Breathe in. And maybe for the last one a little more gently. That's it. So we kind of feel like that, if I'm not mistaken, Santa Lucia, St. Lucy, she takes care of those who are by the water, basically, and at the islands. So how did that feel to sing it a little bit louder? Did it feel harder? Did it just, when you're just thinking about it differently, or?
Yes, I was thinking.
Yeah, it's just a different thought process. And the only other thing that I was going to say is when you have to repeat something, which this song has a lot of repeating in it. So I'm going to use, for example, let's go back to the first page. And you start off the Sul mare Lucia. Maybe make the second one an echo. So at 7, where you begin singing, it's mezzo forte. That's what that sort of fancy MF means, medium loud. maybe at the second time that you sing Sul Mare Lucia, you can sing medium soft. So we get 2 layers. So the first one could be a Sul Mare Lucia, the next one Sul Mare Lucia. Just a little difference, not a big difference, but just a little variety. I probably said this to you before. If we repeat something, we always want it to be a little bit different than the time before it. It makes it more interesting for a person who's listening because we hear it in a different way and it makes us tune in. If it's all the same, we go, oh, it's really nice, but we don't tune into the lyrics the same way. Now, my next question, would you say that you have some of it off by heart already? It's a tougher one to do. Do you think that I could challenge you to work on memorizing this one? Okay, so I probably have mentioned this to you before. My way of working on memorizing songs is I'll usually sing it once with the music. The second time I kind of know, out of curiosity, do you have a music stand that you put your music book on, or do you hold your book, or do you put it on a table, or what do you usually do?
Well, I usually just like set it up like that.
Yeah.
And
then look at it. So this is what I would suggest that you do. You set the book up. The first time, follow it. Just say, I want to make sure I do all the right stuff here. I'm going to try that extra louds and softs. The second time, sing it for memory, but have the book open so that you can peek. Like if you're just, I don't remember that word, I better check. You can sort of peek. So you can sort of maybe sing and I'll sing to the plants instead of singing to the words. The third time I do challenge myself. I close the book and I see how far I can go without the book. If I catch myself missing a word or two, I'll check and see what those 2 or 3 words are. Or if it's only a word, I'll see if I can keep going. But if you do that each time that you practice, you will get really good at it really quickly. So I would encourage you maybe to, and this will be a good challenge to be able to do an Italian song. So I'll put Santa Lucia, right, work on memory. It does not have to be for next week. If you can, great. If you need 2 weeks to work on it, that's totally fine too, okay? All right, what would you like to sing next?
Scales and pitches.
Sounds good. And I think everything was going really well with this one last week too. I'll only again sing with you if I hear you needing some help, so we'll just give this a go, and here comes your music. Try it from that spot again. Super last note there. Awesome. That one spot where you were just a little unsure of, it's a hard entry to come in. There is supposed to be 1 extra bar of piano. So you just kind of hear that. I'm going to go from the top of page 3. You hear sort of, and you hear it one more time. Do, mi, so, do, so, mi, do, and then we're off to the races again. I love what you're doing with the song as well. Very sweet and lighthearted singing. Let's look at the last page. So when we do the coda, which is the sort of the tail ending, it says every artist knows. Do you see it kind of looks like it has like an eye with an eyebrow over that note? That means to hold it a little extra long and to make it very dramatic. So what I might do is, what are the words that you sing? You sing, if you're smart, you'll learn by heart what every artist knows. That's a long phrase. If you're smart, you'll learn by heart what every artist knows. You must sing your scales. Then we take a big dramatic pause. And you're arpeggios. So let's try just that little part and add some of that drama with those pauses there. Let's go back to the top of page 2 where it says, if you're smart, you'll learn by heart. Go for it. Nice deep breath.
If you're smart, you'll learn by heart what every artist knows. You must sing your skills.
Take a deep breath.
And you're
Yeah, good job. What did that feel like to do? Better. It adds some drama, and just imagine maybe if you were dancing to this, that might be a place to use your hands. Every artist knows you must sing your scales and your arpeggios. You can hold it as long as you want. Geos, and then you finish it off there. Awesome. I feel really good about that one too. Let's keep going and change it up to I See the Light. And I think we do need to to record an accompaniment to this one, so I'm going to do that today. And so I will do my loud piano playing again. So I'm just going to write on scales and arpeggios, add drama to the ending. And that's your goal for that. Okay. And I think everything was going really well with I See the Lights, so let's give this a go here. And you just sing normally, even though the piano might be a little on the loud side. Here we go. Not much to talk about in this song, but I'm going to give you a couple of quick suggestions. Give me a quick second just to save this into the keyboard as well. I do like to sometimes be able to be your audience and not have to play the piano at the same time. So I'm just going to quickly save it here. All right, there were two things that I would work on. One is at the bottom of the first page. When you have to sing all that time, never even knowing, those words never even knowing, if you look at the notes above them, do you see how they kind of jump up and then jump down? Those are always a bit harder notes to sing. If the notes are stepping, they're usually the easiest to sing. So all at that time, you go, all that time. That's an easy line to sing. But the next one has this jumping, so it's going to go up and then back down. So it becomes never even. Just try the never and even, and sing the regular words, that's fine. Good. Now go back to all that time. All that time. Sweet. Do that one more time and you'll have it.
All that time, never even knowing just how blind I've been.
Beautiful. And something that I'll often do you notice how after the word just, it kind of looks like a little hook or a little 7 with a little ball attached to it in between just and how? That is a rest. And so we can add again a little bit of drama. We would probably say, all that time, never even knowing just how blind I've been. But in singing, we can do this. All that time, never even knowing just how blind I've been. And you kind of put a little stop between there. Try it out from all that time. All that time, never even knowing just how blind I've been. It just, again, adds a little extra flavor to the words. And at the very end, it's the same thing. If you look at the very, very end of the song and you're singing, now that I see you, after the word I, this is at the very, very end of the song where it says slowly, freely. If you look at there's kind of like a squiggly line. It looks a bit like a worm in between I and C. It's right in the middle of the staff. That is a quarter rest. And so it's again a place where we stop the sound. So we go, now that I see you. So you can take a little time there, and almost as if, now that oh yes, I remember now. I can see you now. That's kind of what we want it to feel like there. Give it a try and see what that feels like. Maybe from now that I. Now that I see you. Now try it once more on your own from now that I.
Now that I see
you. And on top of that, it makes it easier for you because you're allowed an extra breath. So it means that you can take an extra breath. So it's kind of like you can take advantage of it. Plus, it sounds more dramatic when you're singing it. I love what you're doing with it. Sounds terrific. Let's go on to some Annie music next. All right, so I'm just going to make a note of this here. Did you get a chance to try this one out a little bit? A little bit, yeah. It's a little different and takes a bit of getting used to as well. I know we just did this at the very, very end of the lesson last time. Do you want me to kind of sing along with you? Okay, why don't I'm going to put a melody onto the CD so that I'll play the piano a little bit louder. And, okay, so just bear with me here. And I'll just sing kind of quietly along with it, okay? All right, so here we go. little song as well, but you've got vocals and melody that you can practice with there. What I want to do for the last part of your lesson, I'm going to give you a choice. We can do a little more work on this one tonight, if you want to work a little bit on this one, or we can look at a new song. It's totally up to you. New song, I had a feeling, for sure. Okay, so the next one I have for you is a different sort of piece. I think it's very, very pretty, and I think you'll like it as well. Probably a lot different from normal songs you might listen to, but I think it's a really cool song. And it's got great words to it as well. All right, so just bear with me for a second here. I'll just write this down here. All right, so I'll explain sort of how this song works. A couple of things I should mention about the song is the song was composed in 1990, and although that probably sounds like forever ago to you, like olden days, I'm just going to say 1990 is not that old compared to how old some things can be. So, and the composer who wrote it, her name is Nancy Telfer. You'll see her name at the top right and left corners. That means that she wrote the music, and that means she also wrote the poem that the song is based on. And the song is kind of like a interesting imagination song where you could imagine if you could be flying, or perhaps flying on a bird or something like that. So what I'll ask you to do first is just read the lyrics to me first off.
I would fly on the back of an eagle on a warm and windy day from a place quite high in the clear blue sky. I would feel the air blowing through my hair and watch the sights
Below.
below. Flying eagle, fly eagle, fly eagle, fly. I would fly on the back of an eagle on the warm windy day from a place quite high in the clear blue sky. I'd remember from a song from a little time ago and touch the clouds floating by.
And then there's one more line, fly eagle, fly eagle, fly eagle, fly. And then do you notice at the end of the second line on that last page it says DSL coda? Do you see where it's sort of that means go back to the beginning, and you'll see at the beginning at measure 5 there's this funky looking sort of S. It looks like an S with a couple of dots and a line. So we go back and we start those lyrics again, and you can read right from I would fly on the back of an eagle.
I would fly on the back of an eagle on a warm and windy day from a place quite high in the clear blue sky. Look up.
And this time, yeah, I would look to see. Yeah.
Look to see where is yet to be and laugh with a sparkling sun.
And then do you see there, it says second time to coda. So then we have to jump to the end, to the coda, and there's a lot of fly. And do you see where it says coda at 41?
Yes.
And then we just do a whole bunch of fly, eagle, flies after that, okay? I know music can sometimes be a little tricky to follow sometimes. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'll